Hello again! This is the second part of our iPad Pro 10.5 64GB review. Just trying to keep the thing up, it's so slippery. Sorry for the bad setup. So again, doing this with one hand, and look at you slide down. It's not really your fault. I really have a bad setup today. But anyway, we'll do what we can. So I'm going to turn it on. Look at my password, people. It's not very nice. Here it is. I mean, I'm struggling already. I still am learning how to use this guy. Here's my little pin. We put him in the side. And the main reason I got the iPad was to get Procreate, which is right there. Procreate is $9.99, I believe, a one-time payment. And this is what I was doing yesterday. It looks terrifying. One eyeball. That's alright. No worries. We'll work on you after. But it's definitely an easy app to get used to. It's different than Photoshop. My dog is barking in the background. I'm sorry. It's definitely different from Photoshop, and there is some getting used to. But once you figure it out, you're good. I haven't figured out all the tips and tricks and hacks and whatever, but there are some strange things that you have to do to make some tools work, and a lot of it has to do with your fingers. So like, if you want to undo something, you tap 2 fingers. Redo is 3 fingers. There's some modes that pop up when you slide 3 fingers down and that type of thing, and I'm still learning a lot. There's a lot to figure out here, but generally speaking, it's pretty easy to get used to. These are all the brushes. There's tons and tons of them. The cool thing about this app is that it actually records your drawing as you go along, and you can post it on YouTube, Facebook, anywhere you want, and it doesn't take up too much space, because I think what it does is, instead of like sort of recording the whole process, it just records the brush strokes. So anytime you have a brush stroke, it will record that. There are a few, here's another piece I was working on, but there are a few that come with it that you can play around with, so you can see how detailed you can really get. It's a really nice program, and I'm excited to learn more about it. But this is the main reason why I bought the iPad. So I did a lot of research and realized that this really is the best portable iPad you can find right now. For art, they created this iPad targeting artists, which is great. There are a few Windows options, but I've heard they're bulkier. They don't, the pen doesn't, the stylus doesn't react as well to the screen. It's just, it seems like this is definitely the better choice. You guys have to do your own research and figure it out for yourselves. Everybody has their own preference, but this is great because it's light, it's thin. Procreate is great. It's really easy to use. I'm not going to really be using it for much else. I know I probably should be, since it's basically a full-on tablet. I mean, I have my email on there and whatnot, but mostly I'm going to use my phone, and then this is going to be mainly for artwork. But yeah, when I first set it up, I did have a problem. It kind of pissed me off because I was hoping to have a really smooth transition into, you know, the iPad. But no, I didn't. There was an update that I had a big issue with. It got stuck. I couldn't figure out why it wouldn't update to iOS 11. And I could only use Procreate with iOS 11, so I had to call in Apple support, and I had to be on the phone with them for an hour trying to figure out what the issue was. Finally, we did get it, and after that, everything's been smooth sailing, but it kind of put a damper on my experience a little bit, because I already was like, ugh, I really don't want any Apple products, but, you know, got it anyway. It is worth it, though, I gotta say. For sure, and I'm excited to bring it out with me and see how it works outside, and hopefully it doesn't slip out of my hands and break. I have to get a case for it. it'll definitely help me like just adjust it while, you know, holding it in the train or wherever I may be. But yeah, there's also iMovie, which makes me kind of excited because I'm going to try that out and see if I can make some simple videos on there. And yeah, so the other thing was that it does kind of push you into getting like iTunes and whatnot. I'm not doing any of that. I'm keeping my own like music from Amazon and whatever. I just don't want to enter fully into the world of Apple, but I definitely am excited about just working with the iPad in Procreate. Also, by the way, I got the 64GB version. There are 2 other bigger versions. I heard that this one should be okay for just drawing, as long as it's just like, you know, you're not like completely using this 100% of the time. So I'm going to be basically drawing on here and taking it out of the iPad and putting it into my computer. But if you're planning on using it for more professional uses or more constant use, I'd go for the higher ones. I'm going to see how much I can fill it up, how many drawings I can put in there before it gets full, and see if I eventually want to upgrade it to the higher gigabyte ones. I forgot what the other 2 are. I should have probably prepared. Let me check really quick for you guys. Give me 1 sec. Ah, there we go. So there's you don't want to focus. There we go. 256GB, 512GB, and 64GB. I also decided to go for the 10.5-inch screen, which is great. There's a 12.9 and then there's a 9.5, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. It's perfectly fine. It's a 9 something. And people have complained about the big one. It's great if you want to use it at home, but it's a little too big to travel with, and people kind of stare at you while you're drawing, which is a little uncomfortable for some people. This is a great in-between size. So also, just so you know, anytime that you shut off the iPad, you do have to connect this back in again, which is pretty annoying. It only takes a second, so that's all you have to do. You put the cap back on. This is really hard to do with one hand, guys. I have to figure something else out. So, I just want to show you how the pen works. I'm going to hit Procreate. I lied. It didn't work. You have to leave it in there longer. The first time you put it in, it'll ask you to pair. It did it this time too for some reason. It should be only the first time. But you just hit pair and then it's a really easy setup. So now we go to, let's do a new one. New, square, open it up. Here it is. You can make it a little smaller. And so it is very, very smooth. You can use the side of the pen, which is great. And of course, it has pressure sensitivity. There you go. Let's try inking technical pen. Let's make it a little larger and a different color so you can see it. It is incredibly smooth. I see no lag whatsoever. If there is any, you can't really see it. Let me clear this out. So to clear, you just use 2 fingers to tap. See how smooth that looks? I know you can't see it. It's hard to see on camera, of course. But let me see how close I can get here. Look at that. I see no lag whatsoever. I probably have to slow down this video for you to be able to see it. It's just incredibly smooth. And there's no parallax. So it's just like you're drawing right on top of the paper. Which I believe the parallax just basically is like when they put a glass, a thicker glass on top of the screen, and you can kind of see the like a space between the pen and the screen itself. And you don't see that here, which is really, really great. Let's see. You can, like I said, you can use the side of the pen like you would a crayon or charcoal. And these textures on the brushes look so realistic. I'm very happy with it, clearly. There is one thing that's a little bit bothersome, I can't talk. It does not have an eraser on the stylus. The Wacom tablet ones do, which I really appreciate, and you get, it's really easy to, like, it feels more natural to just flip it around and erase, but you do get used to just hitting the eraser and just wiping it clean like the old days. So that's just one thing that would be great to see in the future, as well as finding a way to attach it to the iPad Pro and then finding a better way to charge it. That would be great, but otherwise the pen itself and using it on the app on the iPad, super smooth, super clean, super natural feeling, and I think that I'm really going to love this. So that's it. I'm going to put this guy in the description box below if you're interested in checking out more information about it. But I will be probably making another video in a week or two to let you know how it's going. Definitely in general, overall pretty good first impressions of it, and from what I've heard, every single person loves it, so I'm probably gonna love it too. But yeah, so definitely check it out on the link below. It's gonna be a little affiliate link, so if you decide to purchase it, it will help me out. It won't cost you anything extra. And I will also put the iPad pencil, I always want to call it a pen or a stylus, but they call it a pencil for some reason, so I'm going to put the iPad pencil below as well, so you guys can check that out, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks guys, see ya!